Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Mick Alphanine. All right, so let's begin here with this article, and it's titled Bank of Japan to trial digital yen with 3 mega banks. Not regular banks, mega banks. Why is this important? Well, you've heard me say many times that the head of SBI has said they believe all the banks in Japan would utilize XRP. You can look this up, all right? Not only that, but also keep in mind that when it comes to XLM, when you think about LightNet, who is built on and utilizing Stellar blockchain, one of the founders of LightNet owns 7,000. We covered this extensively, showed you the documents, everything. You can look up for yourself. That founder owns over 7,000 7-Elevens in Japan. And they are invested in LightNet, which is built on Stellar blockchain, which has merged with, remember the mergers, LightNet, EveryNet, Velo. So when we're talking about Japan, oh, and let me make that last connection, VeloNet, which is headed by Mike Kennedy. Mike Kennedy also is the head of Interstellar, the for-profit branch of Stellar. Look at the governing bodies also of Interstellar and Velo. It's almost the same team. You see Mike Kennedy on both sides. Then you see Jed McCaleb on both sides. You see recurring figures, all of those mergers. So that is important. So anyway, when we're talking about Japan, you have to always keep in mind XRP and XLM. In my humble opinion, they're always in play. Now let's read this little tidbit here. It says, despite Japan's uncertainty, and it definitely is uncertain because, well, in my opinion, it's certain. Everyone will have to issue digital currencies in order to survive what is to come, because they're all right now operating off of fiat currencies. And I think that fiat currencies are over with. But that's another discussion. People need to be very careful of trusting these fiat currencies. The future is not set. But as I said, we'll discuss that another time. It's uncertain only in the way that we're hearing conflicting movements and ideas over the last 3 weeks. I think it was last week we read something where they were saying we're not going to issue a digital yen. Someone was saying that. Some high-ranking official was saying that. Now we have it here. They're going to run a test. So there you have that dichotomy again, where there's these opposing sides within the same governments, the same institutional frameworks, but they're saying different things. As I said before, there is a portion of the legacy system that wants to move forward and knows that they have to move forward with the bank coins in order to survive. And then there is the portion that is satisfied with how things are going, and they want to ride the ship until it sinks. They want to ride the car until the wheels fall off. Two conflicting sides. We see that even in the United States Fed, don't we? We see one part of the Fed that says, no, we don't want a digital dollar. Then we see a very bullish side of the Fed that says, yes, we do want a digital dollar. Hey, Ripple, come work with us. Hey, Hedera, come work with us on a digital dollar. Hey, Algorand, can you lend us some of your knowledge, right? There's always these two sides. So it's just something we have to stay up to date on. But this is huge. 3 mega banks. If we're moving value for 3 mega banks, what's it going to do to that price of XRP? Is it going to stay at 38 cents, 39 cents? You think that? Do you believe that? If XLM is involved in any type of way in Japan with any of these banks, or let's not say banks, right? Let's just stick to what we have concrete evidence on. Any of those 7,000 7-Elevens. If Stellar blockchain is involved, does it stay at 8 cents, 9 cents, 10 cents? Theoretically, if it's utilized? I don't think so, right? I think that price would raise a little bit. But let's read this little tidbit. Let's continue on here. It says, the Bank of Japan continues experimenting with a potential digital yen. The Japanese central bank has started a collaboration with 3 megabanks and regional banks to conduct a CBDC issuance pilot. I'm supposing that this is going to happen in a digital sandbox. Maybe not. So this is reported by the local news agency, Nikkei. Okay. The pilot aims to provide demo experiments for the issuance of Japan's national digital currency, the digital yen, starting, we have a date here, add this date to your calendars, starting in spring of 2023. All right, so this is interesting. As part of the trial, the Bank of Japan is expected to cooperate with major private banks and other organizations to detect and solve any issues related to customer deposits and withdrawals on bank accounts. You know why this is beautiful, in my humble opinion? I can't say it enough. There's a liquidity issue, and it's only going to grow greater and greater. You see the financial issues that Japan was having about a month ago. You saw the action that they had to take in order to prevent a financial crisis right now. That's just a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. That can't last. There's a liquidity issue they have to solve. The most logical way, if you're going to have all these world powers having liquidity crisis at the same time, a worldwide liquidity crisis, is to create the biggest liquidity cushion possible. You can do that with XRP. You can also do that, or rather, not even just do that equally to XRP with XLM, in my humble opinion, but you could pad it. You don't have to even do it equally with XLM. You could pad it with XLM or Quant or Algorand or Hedera, the entirety of the new financial system. The rest of it could be used as pads, while XRP is the body, the ocean of liquidity that they definitely need. Thank goodness for the patent for on-demand liquidity. That's a major issue. So now, let's continue on here. That's huge. That's huge. Let's continue on here, but we'll keep an eye on that. And as a matter of fact, we will take a look at some financials when it comes to some of these Japanese banks. We did a while ago. We only did a few of them. We'll go in depth on some of them. We'll find out who's involved with the testing of this, and then we'll go from there. All right. So here we have an article. This one here is from Ripple.com, and this is titled, "The Global Stablecoin Race is On." Here we go. 2022 might well be remembered as the year of the stablecoin. Despite getting off to a rocky start with the implosion of Terra, the stablecoin sector rebounded to reach a new high. A new high, that's important. In this bloody bear market that we've been in, it reached a new high. So what is it going to do when we get back to a bull market? Not only that, remember that these stablecoins running across these blockchains like Stellar, Hedera, Algorand, they create congestion. It's inevitable. We need that. As congestion occurs, transaction fees go up. Transaction fees are paid in what? In those native tokens, right? Then also when you're dealing with transactions, tokens are burned. This is good for the price of those of those particular bank coins. So always keep that in mind. But let's finish reading. The stablecoin sector rebounded to reach a new high of $1 trillion in monthly trading volume in August, and has been on the agendas of the World Economic Forum, of course, the Committee on Payments and Market Infrastructure, and U.S. regulators as they continue to evaluate its role and impact on economic markets. Let me say this also. I'm gonna put this out there about the World Economic Forum and the IMF and a lot of these bank coin websites. Listen, if you're getting documents, screenshot them, save them somewhere safe. And I don't recommend Google Drive. Don't recommend it. All right, somewhere safe, maybe offline. Keep your documents safe. Now, why I say that? I've gone back to certain documents that I had that were potent. Okay, and I try to find them on the website. They're deleting some web pages from World Economic Forum. Sometimes they've done that instantly. My people that have been in my members only section for a while, they've seen it, where I might post a link. The World Economic Forum will delete that page like almost a few hours later. Okay, so save these documents, screenshot these websites, and keep that information safe somewhere. Same thing with the Bankcoin websites. There's a lot of information on certain Bankcoin websites, but when they are redone or when they were redone, right? It goes both ways. There's a lot of information that they don't have available on the new retooled version of them that were there long ago. That was important information. So it pays to have those screenshots and downloaded documents. Just putting that out there. That came to the forefront of my mind as I'm reading this. All right. So this is as stablecoin growth continues and more use cases are explored in the broader crypto landscape, Ripple has also picked up the pace and gained traction with new partners like Stably and Stasis. Together with Ripple, they'll be tapping the XRP ledger as fast, low cost, and scalable blockchain that offers clear liquidity. And I said that before with stablecoins. Didn't I say that? Liquidity is an issue. It's an issue, right? Because of bank runs. And that's why. I'm not the only one saying that. It doesn't matter what stablecoin it is. If bank runs happen, there's going to be an issue. The Bank of International Settlements. Do you guys remember that? Earlier this year, we covered some documents in the members only section, but you could go search for them yourself. Honestly, just on the Bank of International Settlements website, if you really wanted to. But we covered and we analyzed some documents where they were talking about that issue of liquidity, right? How it affects exchanges and such. Even if you have it one-to-one back, if there's a bank run, there's about to be a problem, right? So you need liquidity to fill in the gaps. And here you have it. Scalable blockchain that offers clear liquidity. They need XRP for liquidity. They're going to need things like XLM and automated market makers and creating their own liquidity pools. You're going to have some entities that want to do that. They may create their own liquidity pools with XLM, create their own liquidity pools with Algorand. And they don't need to announce it. They'll just do it, right? They need liquidity. And right now, the best way, and this is another reason why, they want to access the unbanked money. Because that unbanked money can add to liquidity. It's like having a giant pool of cash on the side that you can reach into anytime you want. But right now, their arms are too short to reach it. We can reach it. They want that. That's money to play with. That's liquidity. That's life-saving liquidity, as a matter of fact. And if you looked at a lot of documents coming out of the central banks as of late, they've been constantly talking about that unbanked and underbanked money that they want to access. There's a reason for that. So here, let's continue on here. It says, stable coins benefit from the and if I'm wrong on anything, feel free to correct me in the comment section below. I'm always open to learn. You know that, right? I come to you in humility. I come to you in a humble state. Simple as that, right? Stable coins benefit from the transaction advantages of a cryptocurrency coupled with stability of a fiat currency. That's going to be questionable into the future. All fiat currencies, if the world continues on the way that it is in that direction, all fiat, you do know the etymology of fiat. All fiat currencies will be called into question in the future. And I don't believe that they will be a safe haven. That dollar and euro and all of these unbacked currencies are in jeopardy. I think that's why we see a lot of activities ramping up around the world with conflict. I'll leave it at that. I don't want to go too far with that because, yeah. But I hope you understand where I'm going. Because if you're going to have backed currencies coming, and you will no longer have that power. If it's not tied to something like how the petrodollar is tied to the oil industry or such, right? If you don't have something like that, and also you don't have the military might, then what is keeping your currency afloat? When everyone else is backing their currency with something substantial. And I don't see the willingness for the West to move to something substantial, do you? I don't see it. I don't see it. So There's only a few options. One of them is very, very bad. In order to stop the enemy, let's say, I'm just going to say it like that. In order to stop the enemy, this is how the West would be thinking, from dominating just by simply backing their currencies, by coming together, first of all, coming together and backing their currency with something. There's only a few options in order to stop them from doing that. Damaging them severely would definitely be a setback for them. You get where I'm going with that? So it's something to watch out for. And I don't put it past these entities. Just be careful and stay aware. Awareness is our greatest tool. Awareness is our greatest ally. So now let's move on to another article here. I don't want to stay on that for too long, but that's also is going to be very interesting. Is watching the rise of stablecoins on the XRPL, as they reach mainstream and mass adoption. We'll see how that goes. So now we have this article also on Ripple.com, utility-based NFTs. We've been talking about it for a long time. A lot of brilliant minds have been talking about this for quite some time as well. It says solving real world problems in real estate. All that real estate money. Think about that for a moment. What does it do to the price of XRP if we're moving massive amounts of real estate value? Why is that important? That's important when it comes to XRP because who are the people? Who are the institutions? By the way, institutions love the bank coins. Who are they going to trust more than who the banks trust? No one. We're it. XRP, XLM, Algorand, Hedera, Quant, XDC are the chosen ones. The bank coins are the chosen ones. They will be the most trusted. They are regulatory compliant. That money will flood into them. You already see the all-out assault on regular crypto, non-compliant crypto, silly crypto. You see the all-out assault on them. There will be a separation. Wheat from the tares, as so to speak, like the ancients used to say. And the bank coins will be off by themselves. I said this for a long time. Don't associate the bank coin family with regular crypto. We're not them. We're nothing like them at all. We are the safest. And in a future where people are going to look for safety, in a future where people are going to look for something, a secure way to make an exponential amount of money, they're going to run towards the bank coins, in my humble opinion. So yes, some of those bank coins that have a reasonable circulating supply, they'll be able to actually explode off of retail because of the massive flood of retail into the bank coins. And it will be strong money. I say it's going to be strong money because all the weak money is going to be gone. They're selling, they're leaving crypto, they're breaking down psychologically. Psychologically, a lot of people already finished. They're ready to walk away right now. And I do believe that there could be an explosion in the bank coin prices when we reach a conclusion to this XRP case, this Ripple case. Sorry about that, Ripple case. And I think a lot of people are going to take that profit, which will be a very good profit, I believe. If certain catalysts do kick off, I believe it could be a very, very good profit. And I think they're done and they're walking away. There will only be, I'd say about probably 85% of the money that will be left will be strong money with strong conviction. I could be wrong, but this is what I'm seeing. All right. But real estate money, that's huge money. And I think that we're going to take a huge chunk of that. If you look at some of the real estate offerings that are out there right now, the tokenized real estate offerings, they're still sort of chugging along. They don't have the connections that we have. They don't. That's why they're just chugging along. I think we just saw one roll out. We just covered one recently on Algorand that's going to roll out, I believe. We'll get to Algorand a little bit later in the video. We do have chapters. If you'd like to jump around, no problem. Feel free to do so. However, they don't have the connections that we have. When we're ready, let me tell you something. When Ripple is ready to go deep with real estate, and these offerings here that have connection to Ripple, if they work everything the right way, in meetings, in making partnerships and such, making connections, the strings we can pull are like none other. And it will be a rapid absorption of that portion of the market, in my humble opinion. The other offerings won't stand a chance. Connections mean everything. Prestige means everything. Being trusted means everything. All of that together. All of that together is substantial. All right. So here it says in early February of this year, Leslie Alessandra sold a home in Gulfport, Florida for $654,310. That sale made real estate history. We covered that here on this channel, by the way, as the first home sold as an NFT on a blockchain in the United States. The home and other properties that have since been sold as NFTs and paid for in cryptocurrency all herald a sea of change, flood, all these sea of change coming to the real estate industry. It's going to make things so much easier, by the way. It really is. And I see a bright future for the real estate industry. They're going through some hard times right now. You have to be careful of everything, though. Everything is risky. Everyone's going through a hard time right now. But the ship can be righted, and when it is, woo, yeah, it's going to be some good times. I believe it's possible. It's no guarantees, but it's possible, right? Because of things like this. It says, like other assets that have been tokenized as NFTs on the blockchain, art. Remember, I told you that fine art. When that fine art industry comes in, that's going to be a lot of money. What you're seeing now is nothing. I'm telling you now. Listen, I was deep into the fine art industry for a long time. When they choose to step in, and it's not, then there's the reality that a lot of people love fine art. There's a lot of brilliant fine artists. A lot of people love to store their value in fine art. That's a different type of money. If you're seeing what these NFTs are selling for right now, and they've been doing it good. People are doing very well, in my humble opinion, or they have done very well. Well, of course, there's been a slump in the market, but still, if you know how to work connections, you still can do okay. But if you see how well it has done, imagine what's to come when you're dealing with world-renowned artists, respected artists that have built up reputation. A lot of them are on the side. When that money comes in, that's a lot of value. Then on top of that, they may lock that value up. A lot of people who want to store their, protect their value in fine art will lock their value up on these distributed ledger technologies. What's it going to do to the price? The price of those fine art NFTs will be much higher than any art NFTs that are going, they're up for sale right now. They're selling right now. No, make no mistake about it. But let's continue on here. It says season tickets, carbon credits. Haven't we been talking about that for a long time? I told you there's going to be a lot of value from fines going over these because they're going to be monitoring carbon and all of these type of things. They're trying to make money off of this, and they are. Carbon credits and more. Real estate NFTs are gaining traction because they solve real world challenges like process efficiency and transparency of ownership confirmation. Real estate NFTs on the XRP ledger. The world of real estate can be complex, and anyone who has bought, sold, and or rented a home knows that it can be extremely tedious process, especially for those of us that aren't well versed in the jargon and the other ins and outs of the industry. In an effort to simplify the home buying, selling, renting experience, Ripple partner Proper Home will leverage the XRP ledger to create and distribute NFTs that will represent property ownership. So there you have it. It has begun. We're going to keep an eye on this. I think this could be very big. I know this is going to be very big. Let's continue on to another article here. So then we have this article here on zcrypto.com, and it's titled XRP Lawsuit. Good chance SEC will settle with Ripple to avoid exposing Hinman documents, says legal expert. Let's see what's going on with this. Let's read a little bit of this here. The end of Ripple Labs' legal battle with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission might be in sight, and the light at the end of the tunnel is a veritable trove of emails and other correspondence written by former SEC Corporation Finance Division Director William Hinman, Bill Hinman, a well-known attorney and crypto enthusiast, argued. Who is it that's arguing this? Hinman documents give Ripple, quote, real leverage. I always felt that way, and I think a lot of other people did. We covered a few articles months back that I think iterated that same sentiment. The SEC could soon reach a settlement with Ripple in the bitter XRP securities lawsuit. According, if that happens, boom. And remember, when XRP goes up, I mean, there's no guarantees, but usually XLM goes up as well. So there's that, right? According to lawyer Bill Morgan, the William Hinman emails, being in the hands of Ripple gives the US-based crypto payments firm real leverage. The SEC will strive to keep these materials under wraps, which will not be possible if the case goes to trial. That's interesting. Okay. As such, the commission might be inclined to settle in order to keep them from public eye. Another interesting little piece of that is even if they settle with Ripple, they're still going to go after everybody else. It only brings clarity to XRP and any bank coin that's extremely similar to it, in my humble opinion, like XLM, Algorand, that serve a similar use case. There's no reason to battle these entities in court if it's going to be the same story as Ripple, right? But a lot of the rest of crypto doesn't have that. And that's just my humble opinion. I could be wrong on that. I mean, there's a lot of brilliant minds out there that might say something different. I'm willing to hear other arguments. Yeah, but that's how I look at it. It'll be clarity for the bank coins, and then they will rampage. You know, lots of announcements will come out. That's how I look at it. So it says here, the documents in question concern former SEC official William Hinman, who gave a market-moving speech. We know all of this. While some may argue that a Ripple and SEC settlement has always been a possibility, I felt that way. Yeah, let's continue on. Morgan argued that it's not merely theoretical. Okay, as the conditions for a settlement deal are actually quite good. Oh, I like where this is going. All right, let's hear what you have to say. When asked what's the probability that Ripple's reply to the SEC's brief on summary judgment motion contains Hinman's emails as exhibits, the lawyer explained that this reply could be one of the most telling documents in the case. This is a good article here. Make sure you go to zcrypto.com, check them out. I'm only reading little tidbits. This is an extensive, deep article. Let's just read this, just a little piece here. The SEC filed a lawsuit against Ripple, and okay, we know all of that. All right, I'm going to leave it at that. Make sure you head over to zcrypto.com, show these individuals some love, and give them some traffic over there. Let's move on to another article here. So now we have this article here. This is on U.Today, and it's titled Ripple CTO Sees Silver Lining in Elizabeth Warren's Crypto Warning. In a recent op-ed published by the Wall Street Journal, Warren argues that crypto might end up taking down the economy, really. So nothing that the United States politicians, I'll put it that way, politicians have done will take down the U.S. economy. None of the conflicts that you're almost getting us into that could be world ending, that's not important to address. The problem with commodities, right? That's nothing to address. Shortages everywhere, that's nothing to address. Okay. The overprinting of the fiat currencies and the causation of inflation and such, and now the removing of that overly printed fiat currency, which is causing deceleration and deflation, and probably going to get us into a depression of sorts. That's nothing to be concerned about. All right. You're not holding them accountable. Your fellow politicians accountable. All the division of your nation is such where you politicians, instead of bringing people together and making peace, you're constantly arguing and screaming and shouting like your high school students. Actually, a little bit worse than that. That's not something you should remedy. Crypto is the problem. Right. Okay. All right. Well, let me continue on here. With that understanding, let me continue on here. Right. But crypto might take down the economy. Oh, let me add in this. Let me add this in. All of your colleagues that allegedly, according to articles, took money from FTX, took money from Sam Bankman-Fried, and not for lobbying, colleagues of yours that sat down in meetings with Sam Bankman-Fried. They allege in articles, the professionals that have been looking into it, the lawyers that have been looking into it, they allege there was a lot of what appears to be criminal behavior involved. But that's not what's going to take down the economy. Right. Okay. Let me also say that you don't distinguish between cryptocurrencies. Even though Stellar has had multiple meetings with the government. Yep. Even though Ripple has had multiple meetings with the government. So you know that there's a differentiation between cryptocurrencies. You know that. But you try to lump them all in together. That's very, very concerning and suspicious, in my opinion. So here, let me read the rest of this little article here. That it is not, quote, an awful position to work with since Warren recognizes the importance of changing cryptocurrency regulation. What action has this individual been taking towards that besides just talking? Has there been any type of pressure whatsoever, really, to enact regulation? Right? Didn't they call on Congress to enact regulation? But Congress did nothing. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I don't see any regulation. So they did nothing as far as what I can see. So talking is one thing. Action is another. He adds that this is important for getting crypto rules right. So I don't understand that where he says Warren recognizes the importance of changing crypto. Well, yeah, an importance. I mean, what is the recognition of it worth if you're not going to exact it? What is it worth? And also another thing that people I don't agree with is people praising individuals for things that they're just saying when they're not actually doing anything. I think the time of that needs to end. Maybe, my humble opinion, maybe praise people, side with them once you see actions taking place. Let the people do something first before you rain praise upon them. Let's see what you're doing. Let's see the actions you're taking. But anyway, let's continue on here. So now we're going to go on to an article here. And this is from Algorand, right? And it goes as such. Actually, it's a tweet. Last chance to catch this amazing conversation between the CEO at MA Paycorp, Michael Dersham, and Bonanno Simon, as they discuss how they are going to revolutionize hashtag healthcare. Algorand has been constantly talking to everyone about healthcare, letting you know, hey, we're going into healthcare. Hey, we're going to dominate. Hey, we have a few offerings that are going to change forever the healthcare industry. They've been letting people know. What does it do to that price if they actually do that? Traceability, payroll, congealing of information, making it more easily medical information more easily accessible to the patients. There's so many different things going on that they're going to be able to do. What does it do to that price of Algorand? Not only that, but because Algorand and the offerings on Algorand are getting out ahead of the curve, there's a lot of individuals, I'm telling you now, I know certain things in the medical industry, trust me on this. There's a lot of entities in the medical industry looking for a secure and trusted method of secure and trusted distributed ledger technology to use in the medical industry. And Algorand is sending off a flare of sorts and saying, hey, that's us. That's us. We're the ones that MIT trusts. We're the ones that have a genius from MIT who created the protocol. We're the ones that work with the Fed and the government. We're the ones who have sat on panels with the government. We're the ones who are all across the world building corridors. We're the ones that they trusted in, what was it? I think it was in El Salvador when the was going on, and they used us as a traceability protocol. So we're proven, and we have numerous traceability offerings. We are that one for you. That's what they're saying. So there's a lot of potential partnerships that can come out of this. This is why they continue over these last 2-3 weeks to pound that idea away. Now they got a good interview here to bring clarity to what they're going to do, to show people their vision. I like this. Algorand has been doing nothing but winning. I'm very excited about the potentiality of Algorand going into that next bull run, whatever that's going to be. So now let's move on here. So then we also have another tweet from Algorand. Algorand's on fire. So now they have this offering here, Darshana Inc., where talent meets job opportunity. So pretty much what this is like the Indeed of distributed ledger technologies. It says it becomes the first DApp to verify and register jobs in the Algorand blockchain. So this is very, very interesting. So you will be able to, what I'm looking at, I'm thinking that this is like Indeed.com, something like that. That's what I'm thinking here. Let's click on this and just find out. Just bear with me. Let's see. It is. So it is. Get hired or hire now on blockchain. So this is like the blockchain, Indeed.com, or what's the old one? Monster.com. Was that Monster.com? It's a job site. All right. It's like one of those before the DLTs. But this is very good because I haven't seen something like this before on one of the Bankcoin blockchains. But definitely we'll take that type of traffic. This is very interesting. And it just shows that Algorand is not limited. They're doing well in being diversified in their offerings. And that brings more volume. That brings more value. It's a cumulative thing. You got to look at things cumulatively, especially over the long haul, the long term. These are long holds now. Listen, I would love for everything to explode very soon. I want that so badly. But I've always known that these are long holds. Now, even though the Bank of International Settlements are 3 to 5 years, Ripple says 4 years. Listen, those timelines can change. It doesn't, for me, it doesn't matter. I'm in this to the end. I'm in it to win it. All right. So, I don't have like a lack of patience or anything like that. So then we have this article here on Quant.network. Quant has been doing an amazing job. They're one of the bank coins I'm extremely excited about. And it doesn't take much for it to go off either. So here it says Quant and UST partner to accelerate the adoption of institutional digital assets across financial services. Quant has been like a pit bull off the leash when it comes to getting the banks. They are attacking the banks to bring them in a good way. They've been very hungry to bring in partnership. This is no different. Have you read this document? Let's read this document, just a little bit of it. This gets me even more bullish on Quant, and I was already super bullish on Quant. It says here, partnership empowers banks and capital market participants to tokenize existing asset classes and issue interoperable digital assets, creating new business opportunities and revenue streams quickly and easily. Quant Blockchain for Finance Pioneer has partnered with UST, a leading digital transformation solutions company, to provide technical integration and tokenization services to central and commercial banks and capital market participants. They made sure they put those central banks and commercial banks first. Quant has constantly over the last 2 months been talking about bringing in more central banks and commercial banks. I'm excited to see what partnerships are going to be announced in 2023 or 2024. It really doesn't matter, because if even one of these banks starts using Quant, that price can explode. Put it like that. There's no guarantees in anything, but we're not here for a guarantee. Everything is risky. These services, and this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. I don't want to be. All right. You got to make your own decisions. These services will help financial institutions adopt digital assets. What digital asset do you think is going to be at the forefront of this? Obviously, Quant is going to be at the forefront of this. And I believe any other DLT that Overledger works with, like XRP, XDC, of course, they're going to recommend their own stuff first, of course, and their partners first. Oh, also, Quant has a partnership with LCX also, right? Ooh, and LCX is trying to become what? A bank. LCX is one of the most regulated exchanges. Go look it up. Check it out. one of the most regulated. They're built to stand the test of everything. But let's continue on here. These services, okay, we read that part. It says, as they increasingly realize the benefits of distributed ledger technologies by issuing digital money and tokenizing existing asset classes for greater settlement speed and access to new markets and clients. Quant will provide the foundational technology, and UST will provide support through user interface, design, and integration via its sandbox based in their London Innovation Lab. The partnership facilitates the issuance of central bank digital currencies, digital money in the form of commercial stablecoins, and digital securities onto major distributed ledger networks. By working with the two firms, financial institutions can shorten the life cycle of their blockchain projects to just a few weeks. They're saying, listen, come to us. We're going to cut that time down. We'll help you roll out immediately. You know how delicious that is to institutions? Quant utilizes low-code APIs to issue highly secure. Remember, they said they had bank grade. Well, no, maybe that was Hedera that said bank grade security. My apologies. Highly secure and externally validated digital assets and tokenized securities. Its Overledger gateway enables business flows used by banks. Their focus is always the banks. Quant is one of the most pure bank coins you're ever going to see. Flows used by banks for accounts, payments, and settlement, and can plug into exchanges and venues for asset management. Exchanges. As I said before, which exchange does Quant have a deal with? I believe that is. Look that up. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure Quant has some sort of deal with LCX, I believe. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe I'm remembering it a little bit different, but I think that they do. But LCX is in the game. So the global tokenization market was valued at $2 billion in 2021, and they haven't even gotten started yet. Compounding growth of 24% is expected over the next 8 years. That's a low ball number. Know that. They always give you the low number, according to Grand View Research. Additionally, CBDC pilots are now taking place worldwide, which will unlock new capabilities for governments, businesses, and consumers. Let's add in there. It will open up, unlock new opportunities for capital. All right. So Gilbert Verdian said, UST has been at the forefront of blockchain services for almost a decade, and their customer focus is aligned with our approach. The partnership will ensure that financial institutions can create new business opportunities and innovate with new DLT embedded products. All right, so Quant is doing a fantastic job. I'm looking forward to what else they have coming up in the future. Should be really good. So now let's continue on here. So we're going to end off with a little bit of stock market update news. So let's read this a little bit here. This is from tradingeconomics.com. They're doing a great job. Make sure you check them out. It says the Dow added more than 100 points on Wednesday, and the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ were up 0.6% and 1% respectively. After minutes from the last Federal Reserve meeting showed officials see the case. They wrote that a little bit strange. From the last Federal Reserve meeting showed officials see the case for a slower pace of interest rate rises. The November meeting minutes also showed that policymakers were growing concerned about the economy's health, but hinted at a higher terminal rate. Keep that in mind. Meanwhile, since that meeting, markets have parsed a slew of economic data that somehow reinforce the view of a 50 basis point hike in December. We'll see if that actually happens. I disagree with that, but we'll see if that happens. U.S. business activity contracted for a fifth straight month in November, with a measure for manufacturing dipping below the 50 mark for the first time since 2020. Okay, and I'll leave the rest there if you want to check that out. But like I said, it's on the front page of Trading Economics. Make sure to check them out. They have some nice charts here, a lot of information in this particular article. They're doing a great job. And also, we'll close out with a little bit of futures news. Got to give you a little bit of futures news. We haven't covered soybeans and grain in a little bit of time, so it's time for us to get a little bit of update. So this is from financialpost.com. Soybean grain futures turn higher ahead of Thanksgiving. I think this is easy to see. You can see that was going to happen. You know, it's Thanksgiving time, of course. There was a lot of different factors that could have, that could have impacted such, right? Well, thank goodness it didn't. You know, if you understand what's going on in certain regions where, you know, the grains, they're heavy in shipping grains and wheat and things like that, and the problems that they were having. So, but they cleared that up just in time, I think, last I read. So things are going well right now. So it says here, that's my humble opinion. That's from what I know. Okay. Do your own research. Let's read this article. Chicago soybean and grain futures ended higher on Wednesday as traders looked to even their positions before the market closes for the U.S. Thanksgiving holiday and ahead of short trading day on Friday, analysts said. Corn futures strengthened as the market eyed dry weather forecast that may cause more stress on Argentinian crops. Quote, as we hit this weekend and going forward, South American weather is going to be a big deal to the markets, quote, said Don Roos, president of Iowa-based U.S. Commodities. Quote, there's a huge soybean and corn crop in South America, so the question of weather is key. Soybeans firmed, sorry, I got a little air in my chest here. Soybeans firmed after trading lower earlier in the day amid ongoing concern about a rise in cases in China and oil prices falling as the group of 7 G7 nations looked at a price cap on Russian oil. Exporters said 110,000 tons of U.S. soy sold. Sorry about that. Exporters sold 110,000 tons of U.S. soy to China for delivery in 2022/2023 marketing year, the U.S. Department of Agriculture said on Wednesday. Quote, you had two other things today. Options expire on Friday, so people were looking to get ahead of that, and the basis levels remain strong. All right, to read the rest of that article there, make sure you go to financialpost.com. This is a very, very good article here. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, let's get to the money.